Hello, my name is Stan Ray, and I'm a technical specialist that focuses on Dynamics and the Power Platform at Microsoft. I work on the U.S. education team as a cloud solution architect and have been in role for over 5 years now. Prior to joining Microsoft, I worked in the partner channel for many years implementing ERP and CRM solutions. I'm very excited by all the amazing innovation that Microsoft is delivering. Educators across the world are capitalizing on the Power Platform to reimagine how they run their businesses. In this three-part presentation, we're going to see Microsoft technology that is helping schools modernize, innovate, improve processes, and allow educators and students to do more. This presentation was crafted for business process owners and technology teams. I'm calling it a 300 level presentation mainly because the entire second film is dedicated to the back-end build experiences for the apps. There's still plenty of great content for the non-technical audience in both Film 1's platform overview and Film 3's user experiences and business value review. Let's look at the agenda for the presentation. In part 1, we'll start by unpacking why Williams School is looking for help. And then we'll cover off on the Microsoft technologies used to solve their pains. In part 2, we'll explore the designer tools that allow us to define the data model and interfaces for the model-driven app. Then, in the third and final part of the presentation, we'll pivot to see all these apps in action, including a model-driven app, Power Platform Portal, Canvas app, Power BI, a virtual agent, and more. Before we dive into the demo, we want to set the scenario of why we're here today. Think of ourselves as a school's team of decision makers working in unison between the business process owners and the school's technology team. A current hot topic at Williams School is eliminating all processes that require pushing paper. They'd also like to eliminate processes laden with attachments and instead operate using forms that employees can interact with. They have several line of business applications that require lots of code to maintain. Some of the applications they own are expensive and aren't very flexible. And these applications aren't easy to connect to other applications. Williams School is finding it challenging executing its IT strategy and supporting process owners across the enterprise. They're actively looking for a platform play where they can build new apps and retire old aging ones with just one unified solution. This slide displays all the Microsoft technologies deployed in the tenant I used to deliver the solution. The important takeaway from this slide is that all these technologies are engineered to work seamlessly together, thus capitalizing on your investment with no concerns the solutions have been patched together in any way. There are no band-aid integrations or workarounds necessary, and the data flows freely among the applications. We'll see all these components working in unison later in the presentation. On the next two slides, I'm displaying a variety of education use cases that our customers have delivered with the Power Platform and Dynamics. As you can see, the platform is extremely flexible, and you can craft a model-driven data store to house virtually any process information you desire. A key component to most builds is the definition of a school directory concept. The account entity allows for the definition of properties, business entities, schools, school districts, and the like. The contact entity stores a variety of data for personas including students, parents, employees, business partners, and more. From there, you can design the execution of a variety of processes using the supplied entities and as many custom entities as you need. Our Dynamics first-party apps are robust, pre-built model-driven apps. Many customers choose to purchase Dynamics to capitalize on case management capabilities, which are very powerful out of the box. Cases are used by a variety of groups across the school to provide support for their unique processes, and the portal experience allows for self-service and case submission. Using opportunities and the sales capabilities of Dynamics allows our educators to track pipeline for incoming students, as well as revenue-generating opportunities with their school's business partners. Okay, before we dive into some demo experiences, let's briefly discuss the components of the Power Platform before we see them in action. Power BI is a business analytics solution that lets you visualize your data and share insights across your organization. It's as easy as pointing the URL from your Dataverse instance to Power BI, and you can start to build reports and dashboards with the data found in Dataverse. Those reports and dashboards can be consumed standalone or embedded within apps or a portal for consumption in the place where people are working day to day. We'll touch more on Power BI later in the presentation. Powerapps. This is the heart of the matter and the theme of this presentation. You can build both Canvas and model-driven apps, and as the designer, you can decide where your data will reside. Our build will capitalize on all the capabilities offered with model-driven apps in the use of Dataverse. As we'll see, this offers us flexibility to deliver model-driven, Canvas, and portal experiences, all utilizing Dataverse with our education data model. Power Automate. Our third pillar, Power Automate, serves many purposes. Using flows, we can build workflow and automation to streamline processes. You can design approval processes as well. Further, there are a host of pre-built connectors that allow us to integrate with the school's existing IT investments. Power Automate provides the stickiness between applications and allows us to surface critical process data anywhere we desire. Power Virtual Agents. Our last pillar, Power Virtual Agents, provides us the ability to allow for bot interaction to get questions answered without the need for support services to get involved. It helps ease the burden on our support staff. In the past, bots have proven to be code-intensive and difficult to maintain. This inhibited the subject matter experts from easily using the bots. With virtual agents, there's an easy-to-use, non-coding designer to work in. The bot can be created and maintained by process experts with much less reliance on dev resources. It seamlessly integrates with other Power Platform technologies and uses a flow to integrate with Dataverse to surface existing records and create new ones. We'll see the virtual agent in action later in this presentation. Dataverse includes a set of designers to create, edit, and interact with data. This makes it easy to quickly define tables, relationships, business rules, forms, and workflows that represent your school's processes. Dataverse manages business data that supports interconnected business applications and processes and lets you securely store and manage data that's used by business applications. This shared store allows all the applications to use the same data set and avoids the problems created by duplicate and different data stores. For schools that want to integrate, Dataverse provides a powerful REST API, a developer SDK, and a growing list of samples for common scenarios. As you plan for your implementation, you have a wealth of pre-built tables to choose from in the Common Data Model when building out your school's unique data model. Pull from the core tables to build out records that represent your school directory and provide structure for the processes you'll execute. Add your own custom tables to house the data necessary for your unique processes. Capitalize on industry-specific accelerators such as the Education Accelerator to provide even more tables to build your data model from. This slide describes the various tables I used in the build we are about to take a deeper dive on. There is a nice blend of out-of-box common data model tables, along with some custom ones that I created. I also included the Education Industry Accelerator as part of my build, as I like some of the design aspects of the accelerator and wanted to incorporate those into my build. Using model-driven apps, you can add whatever custom tables, columns, and relationships you desire. It's all done with a designer, and we'll be looking at that next in the presentation. This slide shows the Power Platform and how Dynamics first-party apps live within these technologies. Everything sits within Azure, and Azure AD handles security and authentication for the apps you license or those you build yourself. There are a wide variety of features and services available at your disposal, as you start to deliver apps to your end user community. I wanted to briefly share this slide, which shows the breadth of first-party apps within our Dynamics collection. We are always working with education customers to understand their processes and requirements for a fit for these applications. The customer can then decide based on their resources if it makes sense to build from scratch or license a Dynamics application and make small adjustments to deliver on their requirements. Be sure to watch the other films in this three-part series, as well as other content on the Biz Apps for Education YouTube channel. There's a lot of ground to cover still, so let's continue with the presentation to see the technologies we're discussing in action.